Things are off in the world right now, and they're always kind of off, right? I mean, we're always dealing with some type of chaos or some type of challenge or struggle that's going on. So I don't think that now is any different than any other point in history, but I do think it's a great time to remind ourselves that however you're preparing for whatever it is you think is coming, right? It's good to be prepared, have a plan, practice how you're going to act or react in certain situations, have certain gear, have certain tools. I think it's important to remember that the most important tool, the absolute most important tool of all the gear, of all the utility things that you're going to have in your car or at your home to weather certain situations, right? Whether they're natural or man-made, etc., is our minds, right? Our imaginations, our ability to create, our ability to put together components and make something out of nothing, quite frankly, right? I think it's so overlooked. I mean, I fall into this trap myself as I'm preparing things for just any type of situation, right? A natural disaster, someone needs help, first aid type things, food stores, water stores. Those kind of things are important to have on hand no matter what's going on, because when you're prepared, you have a lot more options if and when something happens. But I find myself going down this rabbit hole of, I need these certain things, or I need this, I need this, I need this. And, honestly, on my list, I failed to put down the most important thing, which is to practice creative thinking and practice creative imagination and use the mind as the way it was supposed to be made, right? I think so often we put our faith in external tools and resources to almost to a detrimental degree, and we forget to realize that, hey, we as creative beings with the power of our imagination and our creativity have are way more valuable than anything we can have in our bug out bag or our car first aid kit or a home preparedness kit. I mean, way more value in our minds and our creativity than anything we can have in there, and I think it's often overlooked. And that's why I wanted to share this video with you. So whatever list you're making or whatever preparations you're taking in order to be prepared for any type of disaster or situation, be sure to put at the top of that list your mind, your own wonderful imagination, right? Because if you don't have that, it doesn't matter what type of gear you have or what type of tools you have, all of those things won't ever be utilized in the best possible way if you don't have that clear thinking and really rely on your imagination and use it as a co-creative tool, which is what it was supposed to be made as, right? And on top of that, situations in the world can also be alleviated by using our creative imagination, right? Ideally, in a perfect world, you never have to arrive at the point where you need to use certain tools in order to survive. Your mind has pre-paved the road for you so that it's more of a there's more knowns, right? Because you're constantly focusing on things and experiences that you want to create in your life, and you're not worried and living in a fear state and filled with doubt and concern. That consumes the mind in a negative way. Remember, any tool can be used for benefit or to harm, and the mind is no different. And so the question we all have to ask ourselves is, what am I focusing on, right? What am I using my most important creative tool for? Am I feeding myself fear by thinking about things and situations I don't want to have happen, and by spreading fear by talking about things that I don't want to have happen? Remember, whatever we activate by our focused attention, the things we think about, the things we talk about, what we spread, that keeps those thoughts active in the collective consciousness, not only in our own consciousness, but also in the collective consciousness. And so when you asking yourself, what's the most important thing I can do? It's to direct your thinking to positive experiences and to positive outcomes and things and experiences you want to have in life, as opposed to constantly being in this loop. This is why I am a huge advocate of no news. It doesn't matter. Nothing that the news tells you matters, right? Yes, be informed, but get it from sources that are the most non-biased, right? And that don't have an agenda in place, right? This is why I'm so anti news. I'd rather live in complete, total ignorance than be influenced by the media that has only one agenda in mind, and we all know what that is. There's no need to go down the rabbit hole with this one, right? I'd rather be living in total ignorance, using my mind in a conscious, focused way, and being positive in my thinking and creative in my thinking, and helping people, sharing best practices for living, just like I love to be reminded and have people share best practices for living with me, remind myself and remind others that we are conscious creators having and enjoying a human experience, as many have talked about. And at the end of the day, we are so powerful, right? We are so powerful, and giving our attention to certain groups or organizations or people that don't have our best interest at heart and have selfish motives that aren't aligned with growth and expansion and the flourishing of life, that's a problem, right? That's a problem. But I see so many people trapped in these looping patterns of, I've got to listen to these organizations or I won't know what's going on. Again, it's better not to know what's going on than to be than to be under the influence of someone negatively influencing you and promoting and cultivating fear and doubt and anxiety in you. That's not beneficial, because what that does is that messes with your energy, and then you radiate out and you emit fear and doubt and anxiety, right? Do you see why I'm so advocating of this? Like I said, I'd rather be in total bliss and total ignorance and radiate goodwill and positivity and courage and optimism out into the world. That's a better state to be in than to be under the influence of someone that doesn't have your best interest at heart, that only wants your attention, right, in a negative way, to use it in a negative way to promote that stuff. So we don't need to talk about that. But barring anything else, at the top of your preparedness list, please put your mind and your imagination. That's your most important weapon or tool or creative faculty that you can have in any type of preparedness kit. And so I hope this video finds you well. If it does, please give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments section down below what you think. And I hope you're staying safe. Before I wrap up the video, I want to invite you, as always, if you haven't subscribed to my email list, I'd love to have you on the list. When you do, I'll give you access to my personal collection of thought tools, manifestation tools, creative tools. These are basically ideas that we remind ourselves, how to be a conscious creator, right? Louise Hay said that she never fixes problems in her external world. She fixes her thinking, and then those problems fix themselves. And I'm a huge proponent of that, and that's the core of what these tools are. You can find them when you subscribe to my email list at gmarkphillips.com/subscribe. Like I said, I'd love to have you. I send at least a weekly email out, something like this, to remind you of the power that you have as a creative being, and ideas and insights to help you on your journey, because I think that's what it's all about, sharing best practices for living, which is really the basis of everything that I do on my channel here and in the podcast. So thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I wish you all the best, health, wealth, and success. Bye-bye.